All right, great. All right, first off, man, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview with the Hype Magazine.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate you having me, man. You're trying to kill me with that Pacers hat on, huh? You knew you had a New Yorker coming on. You was like, hold up. I'm going to get it a little harder. Pause. I see it.
My bad. I apologize for that.
No, it's all love. It's all love. You a
But man,
Pacer
super
fan?
excited for this interview. Sincere was telling me a lot of the dope stuff you do in the community, what you've been in the game. So I'd love to help tell your story. But to get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you're from?
Oh, yeah. My name is Kevin Sutton, Hennesy Kev from Brooklyn, New York, out here in sunny PA right now, Philadelphia. We've been out here for about 7-8 years, been in the game for about 30-32 years. So, I do a little bit of everything: marketing, advertising, branding, business development, touring, booking, talent booking, operations manager for Freedom Thinkers Academy, owner of 1122 Multimedia Group and 1122 Solutions.
Now, with you being from New York, as you stated, do you think you made it harder for you or easier for you to get started in the music industry and start your career?
Oh, that's a great question. It's not really the place in regards to making it easier for me. I got my start in the career working and designing with the powerhouse Averex, and I did meet them in New York. And I guess the great thing about that location and what I was doing then was that Bad Boy was across the street. I had Tommy Boy Records right down the block. I had Rockefeller around the corner, Vibe Magazine 2 train stops away. So maybe, hey, to answer your question, maybe New York was easier because there was a lot of things and a lot of movements at the cusp right there at my fingertips. So it was a beautiful thing at that point.
Now, you mentioned the legendary brand Averex. So how did you connect with them, and what were some of the things you did to help, the brand and, help make it what it is today?
Yeah, it started with my manager, Wonderland. I used to be a rapper back in the day. Shout out to my brother, AL Sheed. I think a lot of execs and people in the game, I think they started off as MCs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just that passion. But I was an MC then, and I had a manager named Averex, and he was, over there at the clothing line, and he brought me in, and he said, yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So at that time, we were just helping out with the brand. Maybe you should put this here, add that there, put this on the chest, that on the, on the sneaker, that on the sole. So we were just pretty much doing that. From there, we would hit the streets, and anytime there was a video shoot going on, anytime there was a tour going on, whatever it was, we made sure that everybody had an Averex on. So if you see an Averex jacket from, let's say, 1998, 99, all the way to 2001, maybe 02, that was all, myself, out there working and, putting the work in and making sure that everybody had it, everybody was repping it, and everybody was talking about it. So that was my role. A little bit of branding, marketing, some design work as well.
And I know you also gave product placements to a lot of artists and, different people in the industry. How were you able to make those connections, build that way? I mean, you were doing it before everybody else was so familiar with merchandise and everything being a part of the music industry. So how were you guys able to implement it the way you did?
Well, that's a great question as well. So a lot of times my office was right there in the middle of Manhattan. So a lot of times, they'd reach out and they want an AV, or we'd be outside. So back in the day, shout out June Balloon, shout out Shane the Butcher. There was something called street teams, right? Yep. So they ran the Bad Boy Street team. So wherever the Bad Boy Street team was, I made sure Averex was as well. So we'd be out there with flyers, we'd be out there with boots, we'd be out there with backpacks, we'd be out there with coats, and we would tell people, yo, throw this on, put that on. Come down to the Averex. It used to be called the cockpit, which is crazy. Pause now. But it used to be called the cockpit. We tell them, come down there, come down to the showroom, and whatever Nas picked out, he could have. I remember a quick Mobb Deep story. We had Mobb Deep come down there. Shout out to Prodigy, Havoc, and we gave them half the store. Like, listen, you pointed at it, it could fit in the back of your car, you can have it. But only thing that we ask you to do is when you in your videos, make sure you rock it. Same thing with Noriega. Yep. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of those relationships and a lot of those people I built then, just making sure that, things that I had was mutually beneficial. You know what I'm saying? They knew that the AV was hot. You know what I mean? They knew there was something that a lot of people at that time really couldn't afford. And if you could afford it, that means that you was doing well. So, I made sure that the streets had them.
Now, I wanted to highlight that because I'm sure there's up and coming clothing company or people, artists who are doing merchandise, and that's a real game to how this merchandise industry really works. Like sometimes you got to give the product away just so you can get it in the right hands, get those
Absolutely.
placements. So I appreciate that. I know you've worked with a lot of artists throughout your career. Can we highlight a couple of them or some of the people you maybe work with today that people may not know or who are maybe familiar with?
Absolutely. Shaheem is one that was very instrumental to my career. He was the person that really got me into management, got me
Okay.
into the, the foray of knowing that, I can utilize my connections from everything that I had, and I could put people that was already in place, in a suitable position or a further position and outside of, what they knew him for before, in regards to the acting and the rapping and stuff like that. But, I work with everybody, Fred the Godson, Dutchy Man, Major Figures, Inez. Right now, I'm working with State Property, especially right now, Freeway, Freedom Thinkers Academy, which I'm the operations manager for. Casting over 2 times, doing some booking work for Connie Diamond. So it's really a lot of
Yeah.
95% of the industry, I do booking for, Mr. Cheeks, Locks, and that's just the legacy artists. But then I also work with Tink, Glorilla, did some work with who else? Donnell Jones. I mean, the list can go on and on. So
When
I'm
you
just
say
working.
booking agency, for people that may not be familiar with what that actually do, what is it you're doing with that, and how did you get that part of your career started, like getting into the booking agency game?
Yep. So what I would do is whenever I go on an artist with somebody, let's say if I'm going on tour, I'm going somewhere, I always connect with everybody that's in that building. So I'm shaking hands, I'm kissing babies with everyone, whether you mopping the floor, you taking tickets, or you're the actual venue owner. So I connect with the venue owner, and then after I'm done doing what I'm doing, I say, hey, who else are you looking for? Is there somebody else that will fit this need that you're trying to have? I see your demographic already. They say, yeah, I need X, Y, and Z. And I would simply just go through my Rolodex and say, hey, I got a connection with X, Y, and Z. And that's how I pair everything together. Just to go backwards a little bit, a lot of the people that I was working with back in Averex, they could have been interns. They could have been just coming out low-level executives, but right now they're CEOs. They're owners of their own brand. They're managers of, let's say, Busta Rhymes and things of that nature. So a lot of times I can make a phone call to a friend and then make that
Yeah,
connection happen. So when I say booking agency, that just in regards to the definition of the word. But most
yeah.
of my calls to an artist or one call or directly to that artist because I've known them for over 20 years.
Yeah, real relationships. That's why I wanted to highlight it because we hear about people out there, but you have these real relationships, day-to-day activities. So when you're picking up the phone to make that connection for someone, it's coming from a place that they respect, and it's a good situation. What's one of the a lot of people don't understand what goes into putting these shows together and booking that. What's one of the craziest events you've had or places you've been to a show because of you helping put it together like that?
I mean, the Roots Picnic is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
That's something big. But everyone to be, you can highlight all the great ones, the BET Awards with Freeway. That was another big one. But the Roots Picnic was big to me because I remember sneaking in to the Roots Picnic. So from
okay.
sneaking in to the Roots Picnic to actually being able to book an artist on the main stage was a highlight to me because that shows you how, dreams don't work unless you do. And if you
Yeah.
put in the work and you make sure that, you stay honorable, you have integrity, and you're making the right connections, you can keep going. And it's not like I was on that main stage, but I was responsible for the entire state property being on that main stage. And,
Yeah.
that was important to me. So that's a highlight. But other than that, every single event that's thrown and every event that I'm a part of, I take great honor in.
Well, as a fan of state property, thank you for helping put that back together. It's so exciting to see them coming back. What was it that got you guys, coming back together? Free with Beans and the whole camp. Like what started generating those conversations to do to the return, and how great it has it been to see the fans' reaction you guys are getting when
Oh,
you're back
yeah.
out there.
The fan reaction is amazing. Let me be clear. I'm not responsible for putting them back together. They
Right.
brothers. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they've always been together. They always on the phone together. They pop out on everybody on certain people's shows and stuff like that. But the Roots wanted the entire prop. Skino, Sparks, everybody on the same stage. So they called for that. But then also with Freeway's 20-year anniversary. So it just lined up perfectly because he had called for that as well. Because a lot of times, we're free. He the people's champ, so he made
Yeah.
that call, and they was already in that mode and in that vibe and in rehearsal. So to see them at the 20-year anniversary and then to culminate that at the Roots picnic, it was a beautiful thing.
Now, mentioning Freeway, we interviewed him for the Hype in the Streets recently, and we talked about the Freedom Thinkers Academy, which I understand
Absolutely.
you're heavily a part of that. So for people who's not familiar with it, what is the Freedom Thinkers Academy, and what is it, some of the things you guys are doing to help the community and help artists and stuff like that?
Yep. So Freedom Thinkers Academy is Freeway's label and imprint is music, health, education, and culture. So Freeway got the music part. You feel what I'm saying? You see exactly what he does. The health is everything that Freeway's been through with the unfortunate passing of his family members, which I won't get into, but rest easy to them as well. And then the culture is exactly who we are as a culture, who we are as hip hop, who we are as people, who we are as a nation, who we are as just everyone in general. That's the culture. But education, we do workforce certification programs. So we work in Philadelphia with the OIC building and in Delaware with the community education building. So we take people from the classroom to the workforce. You take a 6 or 8 week certification, whether it's medical billing and coding, phlebotomy, pharmacy tech, medical assistant, and then we also have audio visual program. And then we take you all the way to you get a job, which means that we give you all the tools needed to get right in front of the employer. And then once they close that door, it's up to the employer to hire you. But we make sure that you have all the tools needed to succeed. So essentially what we're trying to do, or what we are doing, I hate to use the word trying, is making sure that inside the community, you have a fighting chance and gives you something other to do than just kind of hang around and be outside on the corners.
Man, I commend you for that, man. That's a great thing. What's it like getting to meet the people or getting to see them go from the beginning of what you guys are doing for them, and then seeing them find that job and find that career? Like, you have a story or a testimony you can tell us?
It's amazing. So I'll say this. Right now, we've graduated about 8 cohorts. That's 15 people a cohort. We have thank you. We have 100% graduation rate, 90% retention rate. We have the last class, which is a phlebotomy class. 13 people graduated, 13 people got jobs. So right now we're in our 3rd cohort with the OIC building, which is audio and visual. There was a person named Sequana, I believe, that went through the program, and after going through the program, she was received the Sullivan Award, which is the highest award at OIC, and she's doing some work with that building now. So just seeing her from the first day walking into the classroom, not really knowing what she wanted to do, but not really knowing it all the way through, and then seeing her go through the 8 weeks, and then now she runs her own business. She's managing artists. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch them go from 0 to 100. Another person in the recent class, Combat Pretty, she's actually on a reality TV show, and then she's pitching her own as well. So it's not only building people that want to become, in the workforce, but we're also building entrepreneurs as well. Just really trying to, change that generational curse, if you could say, or really shorten the poverty gap, and just ensuring that we're giving everybody the opportunity to succeed.
Man, I love it. That's so great. You mentioned Connie Diamonds, man. She's out here making a lot of noise. A lot of people are starting to get familiar with her. What is it? How did you and her link up, and what's some of the things you're doing to help her if people aren't familiar?
Well, right now, shout out to Rap over there. He's the one doing everything. We're right now we're talking, and what I'm doing on my side is just booking, just trying to keep her booked and busy. That's about it. But Connie she's doing what she's supposed to be doing on her side of the world. Everything that she touches out of here, she's moving, she's doing what she needs to be doing. So on my side, as long as the artists do what they need to do, and all I got to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, I got Connie for this. Hey, I got Connie for that. Hey, I got Connie for that. Then that makes people like us, our life better. What I tell all the artists out there, all the aspiring upcoming artists, because I remember Connie from, a long time ago, just us crossing paths with her up at Shade 45, and her record wasn't as big as what it is now, but it was always bubbling in the street, that things don't happen overnight, but records can happen overnight, if that makes sense. You can take forever with your career, all years, and then you get one record that takes off, and just like that, your life could change forever. You understand what I'm saying? So, dreams don't work unless you do. Just keep going, keep staying the course, and then be bookable. A lot of artists, they want to get out here and they want to be paid for this and paid for that. But are you bookable? Are you able to bring 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, 1,000 people to that show? If you're unable to do that, be honest with yourself. You're not bookable at this moment, but you might be later.
In your opinion, because I know you've had a lot of success with booking world tours and everything. If I'm an artist that's on the rise, I've got a little social media buzz going. What's some things I can do to help become more bookable? Is it more getting with the radio, getting with DJs and promoters, or any kind of suggestions you would give on that?
Yes, marketing and advertising. That's something that an artist should be doing every single day, reaching out to a company such as yours and saying, hey, I'd like to, if you have ad space, purchase ad space. Now, I mean, if you need to invest in yourself, and people like you and your company will invest back. I'm pretty sure that if you have an artist that's doing multiple ads on a monthly basis, if ever you're having an event, you're going to invite that artist because it's mutually beneficial. You're going to work with people that work with you. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is that if there's something big going on, let's say there's a tour happening or there's a show happening, don't always try to get on the biggest show. Maybe there's a mid-tier show you can get on, right? Tear down that show because you never know. And I don't care if there's 10 people in the building or 10,000, tear that spot down because you never know if there's an exec in the back that says, hold up, who's that? Right? Yep. And then another thing that artists forget to do is don't forget to mention your Instagram. Don't forget to have people in the crowd handing out cards or getting contact details. Don't just come, perform, and leave like you was the best thing in the building, because you could have been the best thing in the building, but now that exec missed you and nobody spoke to anybody in there, so you just lost your opportunity because you knew you was the best, you acted like the best, and you walked out like the best, and now the best is gone.
Yeah. And I want to highlight what you said. The people, the execs and all they may be in the back and you might not know that. Like, how important, or what is some advice you give for people who go to these conferences? I know you did the Launch Music Conference recently. I know you're really giving game to a lot of artists and stuff like that. How should they move at these conferences? Let's say they see you you're on a panel. What way should they present themselves to you, or what things have you seen an artist do that caught your attention and helped build that relationship, moving forward?
Just be genuine. Just, come up, strike a conversation, and be laser focused. I tell a lot of people that are in my classes, because, with OIC, we teach the foundation class, is have your 10-second, 15-second, 30-second elevator pitch. Who you are, what we do, and how we could be mutually beneficial to each other. It's really it. And then have your phone in your hand or have a contact card in your hand, something that's going to make me remember you, but then also something that's going to make me follow you. And then when I do go on your Instagram page, make sure that Instagram lines up with what you're talking about. So I don't want to come on your Instagram and if I hurt your feelings, okay, but see your kids and see this and see that. If you're an artist, that could be sprinkled in there. But your artist page should look like your artist page, because that Instagram page is another extension of you. So if I go to your page and I don't hear any music, I'm out of here. So that's what I say. Just be genuine. And one more really quick thing, Matt. But outside of the people in the panel, network with the people in that building, because you never know who else is in that room. And I always say you have everything that you need inside the room. So you might, you want to get on the playlist. There could be a playlist right there. Just figure out who's there. I apologize if I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say you really give a lot of great information on social media like that. So I want to highlight that for you and thank you, because I work with a lot of up and coming artists and it's valuable information. How did you get into the consulting side of the game, and how have you and your team been able to consult businesses and stuff like that through the IOC?
Appreciate that. So with OIC, I do that every Friday, which is foundation class, just teaching them the entrepreneur. But I've been doing this for, the past, 10, 15 years. I did a series called The Independent Music Grind, where I spoke to artists in regards to, being on the come up and being independent. And the reason why is because, I like to say that I fell forward. I was signed to Def Jam for about 5 minutes. I was one of Judge Blade's first artists. And a lot of the things that I talk about is mistakes that I've made in the past. I thought that I was the best thing moving You know, when people gave me tickets to the Source magazine party, I was like, forget about all that. Not knowing that I should have went to go network. I just felt like I was the hottest thing moving. You understand what I'm saying? So what I try to do is give people the things that I did wrong so that way you can do them better. Because I've also seen people go from 0 to 100 because of the things that they've done right, being laser focused, you know, consistency. I always say if you do the same thing over and over and over again, it's going to give you results. It's a fact. And most people, they quit before they get a chance to reap the benefits of what they've been doing. So you'll never know if you're going to succeed or not.
Well, they've been told it's an overnight celebrity. They've been told that this game is so easy, but I know stories of people taking 5 to 10 years for them to become that overnight celebrity.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? What's some of the things you've seen artists that are successful able to do? Not just the, you know, consistency, but is there a trait or something you've seen them do that helps them stand out the way they do?
Absolutely. Are you talking about established artists or new artists?
I'd say established artists, the ones you've been around and seen. What did they do differently?
So one thing I'll say are the two people, and they have linear lives, is LL Cool J and Method Man. And the reason why is because they've always been able to reinvent themselves and stay in the trend. Now, they're not wave riding. They're not, you know, doing this, that, and the third. They're doing them, but they're doing them within that generational music. That's why LL Cool J was able to sustain as long as he has, and then he navigated into the movie world. Then he could jump back into the music world if he needs to, but he has another trade that he's able to lean on, but you know him as LL Cool J. Same thing with Method Man. He has another trade he's able to lean on, but if you hear Meth right now, he's tearing down songs. Like he's in rare form. You understand? You know, he went to the gym, got himself right. He knows what he needs to do to remain relevant at the time. And if he's ready to step away from the mic, he can do that because he has another avenue to lean on. What I always implore artists to do is music is a vessel to do so many different things. So I'll take you back to the beginning. As I said, most execs, they start off as artists, rappers, producers, something like that, because they have a passion for music. Then after you feel like, okay, maybe this artistry thing isn't working out, maybe this is not good for my family structure, I can do something else, but still be in entertainment. Then you'll find that niche of who you are, where you want to be, and you can focus on that. That makes sense.
No, I love that. Now, with all the changes in the music industry recently, I know you are paying attention to those. What's some of the things you're recommending to people that they should be doing now that there's been this shift recently and everything?
Now, when you say a shift, there's a shift in everything. There's a lot that's going on. So,
sorry, just we recently know they laid off laid off a lot of people on the labels and stuff like that. So there's been those changes that we've seen.
Yep. Get your business in order is what I'll say. And there's two things that I want to tell artists right now. First is business music, not music business. Get your business in order. Make sure you're going to the studio with split sheets. Make sure you understand what the terms in your contract are. Stop running to these labels for everything. If a label wants you, they're going to look for you. They're going to sign you. You can run to the label, but when you go to the label, make sure that you're looking for a consultation. You're not looking to get signed. If you get signed, that's a cherry on top. That's great. But look for advice on what they do for their established artists, because at the end of the day, most of the money in the industry is made at the top, right? And everything trickles down from there. So if you're not in that top 4 to 5 to 6 percentile, you're not really making all that money. So what else can you do? Is it merch you can sell, right? Is it put out a whole bunch of records and flood the market and then keep making money off your ASCAP, your BMI, your royalties, things of that nature? Can you get a pocket of fans and maybe your remote location, your tri-state area, and make money that way? So that's one thing I would say. Find alternate ways to make sure you see a return of investment so that way you don't burn out. The other thing is pay attention to what's going on in the industry. When Kendrick and Drake was beefing, why are you dropping records? Kendrick and Drake is beefing. That's what we're all thinking about. That's what we're all talking about. Why are you releasing music? It's going on deaf ears. Nobody's paying attention to it because we're all listening to this. If you have things going on in the world, be careful what you release and when you release it, because timing is everything. But you got, your mind set on this is what I'm going to do, and you're laser focused. You're forgetting about everything that's going on around you. And a puzzle is a perfect picture.
I think that's great game you just gave there, because you're right. So many artists that get stuck on, I set this date as my release date and my song is talking about this, but then there's a news story that's bad about that and they don't think maybe I should hold off. Let's release a different song. Being able to shift like that's cool. Do you have any conferences or anything coming up that people can circle on the calendar to come support you,
Well,
or
look,
just in general with what you guys got going on?
absolutely. Well, right now, it's all hands on STEM Pack 2,
Yes.
Freeways and Jake 1 STEM Pack 2 that's coming out. I believe that's June 15th. So we have the
Okay.
press run coming up. So that's what we're talking about right now. We have Freezer that's out right now. We have Ringing. Y'all haven't heard that. Freeway featuring Jadakiss that's coming out right now as well. So that should be out next week. So that project is fire. So that's what's going on right now out of the camp, Freedom Thinkers Academy, STEM Pack 2. In regards to conferences, you can definitely follow me on my Instagram at Hennesy Kev, on my other page at Mr. Kevin Charles, and any of the conferences, I'll be having them listed there. And I'm always trying to keep dropping little jewels, little tidbits of information just to make sure any aspiring artist, my thing is don't quit. I mean, the ones that lose are the ones that quit. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I say. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So just dreams don't work again unless you do.
Yeah, you said you've been around 35 years. How many times did you want to quit? And then you decided the next day to give it one more chance, and then that opened up the door to the major opportunity that would, like, sometimes those hard days is that moment where you just have to say yes one more time. So you have a story like that for yourself?
Absolutely, man. So my thing is this. That's why I say what I said. I did quit, right? And that's what stopped me.
Yeah.
I quit when I was in the Mr. Averex and I was in the Mr. Just Blaze, and we was all working. Quick story. Averex gave Just Blaze, I believe it was 9 coats to do my project. He was going to produce the full project. I think I was 3 records in. I bought Funkmaster Flex to Staten Island for the first time. And Funkmaster Flex spun for maybe 30 minutes. And then rest in peace, Big Cap came on and he DJ'd for the rest of the night. So Averex had sponsored that night. So they was mad at me because Funk Flex didn't stay. So we got into this big argument and I'm puffing my chest out. And I said, you know what? Forget y'all. I'm leaving. I'm tired. I walked away. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I walked away from AV. I walked away from Just. I walked away from that opportunity. So I did quit. And I left for a minute, then I came back, and then, I started my own company, started working with The Source and Double XL and everything else. So I came back, and my thing was in quitting, what did I miss? Just wasn't Just Blaze at that time. Just was, Justin from the cutting room, and that's my brother. He was always Just Blaze. There was a lot of people that was kind of making, I don't know if you remember Lyricist Lounge. I don't know how old you are.
Oh, yeah.
But Yeah. So Lyricist Lounge wasn't really Lyricist Lounge at that time. We were meeting in the office. You know what I mean? So a lot of my peers and a lot of the people that was moving the way they was moving, I walked away. So that's why I tell artists to make sure, keep going, keep being laser focused. You never know what would have happened if I would have stuck around. I don't know. I don't care because I'm at where I'm at right now. But that's why I tell people, regardless of what happens, keep going. Understand what's meant for you or what could not be meant for you, but just make sound decisions.
Yeah. And I mean, and thankfully, because you did that, you are where you are now. Like, we can look back and say, well, what if this happened? But let's focus on the positive. You are who you are. Like, you're a legend in your own right with that quitting moment. So that made you grow up. With the Freeway situation, Sincere, I'll let you know, I love breaking records, man. Freeway's fam anyway. So anything we can do, the hype, stop me from radio.
Absolutely.
I got y'all. That's easy. If people want to reach out to you or, they want to build with you, what's the best way to contact you besides Instagram?
Yeah, you could DM at Hennesy Kev. You could DM at Saquana Daniels that, she handles all the booking and stuff like that. You could shoot over an email at info@1122mmg.com. I mean, just reach out to me, man. I'm definitely approachable. You can ask me whatever question you want. Feel free, man, because, ask me the questions you want to know, because I promise you I won't lie to you. I'm going to tell it to you 100%. And it's going to be real based on my opinions and based on everything that I've been through and everything that I've seen.
I love it, man. Are you thinking about doing a podcast or anything like that? You see a lot of the industry experts out here giving game with the podcast and stuff. Have you thought about that yet?
You know what's crazy? I had a radio show called Real Radio IMC, right? Okay. So I did that. Like, there's a lot of things that I've done for a while. And you know, respectfully speaking, and me doing a podcast or a radio show would be me actually going a little bit backwards because I've done that for a minute.
Got
You feel what I'm saying? So right now it's more so, you know, speaking engagements, talking one-on-one consultations, you know, conversations like this. You know, a podcast, just to let everybody know, and you know, it takes a lot out of you.
It does.
It's a lot of work. You know, people think that you put on the microphone and the video when you just talk all day, but there's so much behind the scenes things that you have to do to make a show like this go. So, Matt, I salute you. You know what I mean? Money and the whole team for even doing this and having this platform, because all the stuff that happens behind the scenes, I know some days you may want to quit. You feel what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I've been doing it over 20 years myself too, so I definitely understand, like, you know, the work that goes into it. Now, besides music, like if you get downtime, what do you like to do to enjoy yourself? Like, what kind of things do you do to just relax and get away from the industry?
Watching the Knicks lose. That's what I like. That's what I like to do. But other than that, man. No, other than that, man, I got kids, so
I mean, I'll say this for the Knicks. You know, man, you guys had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, we did. We hobbled in and we hobbled out. You know what I mean? But the one thing that I can say is that we definitely fought. Yeah. We fought all the way through, and I'm looking forward to next year. But you know, I got kids, so I spend time with the kids, and you know what I mean, just regular stuff. You know, go out, you know, drink, have a good time, see Hennesy Cavs. So you know what that means. But other than that, man, I just like to enjoy myself. And enjoy myself with good people and good friends.
And then any shout outs you want to give, either mentors that helped you early on or who part of the team now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, first and foremost, everybody that I came across, you know, in regards to the business, I appreciate it. It'd be too many people to just shout out, because if I forget somebody, I'm going to feel bad. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I can't do that. What I will say is that, you know what I mean, love to everybody that love me, salute to everybody that salute me. And I just want to, you know, keep pushing forward. Sin always, I got to, you know, shout out to her individually, because that's the reason why I'm on this right now. Saying, you know what I mean, according to you as well, you know, so thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the time. But in regards to, you know, everybody else, I mean, you know that love is there. You know, love is love all day long. So I can't shout out one person and forget somebody else. So, you know what I mean? So salute to everybody. That's where I'm at with it.
Definitely. Salute Sincere. As you said, she helps put this together. Just Jay with the Hype Magazine. Jerry for giving us the opportunity. Anything else you want to let people know before we get out of here? Anything we may not have covered, or you want to make sure we mention?
Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. So 1122 Multimedia Group, if you're looking for marketing, advertising, branding, consultations, anything that you want to do in regards to an independent artist, but also a clothing line or a brand. What we do is we isolate demographics, and we want to make sure that you get that return in your investment, because, you know, you work hard for your money, you work hard for putting your money out there, but you just don't want to crumple it up, throw it, and then crush your fingers and hope something works. So that's what we take care of. In regards to 1122 Solutions, if you're an up and coming artist and you think that you're bookable, reach out. All the artists that, you know, you're a venue, you're looking for an artist, you know, to put on your stage, reach out. I got you. In regards to Freedom Thinkers Academy, we all over the place. So, I mean, reach out to us and we'll bring a workforce certification to you.
All right. Well, I appreciate the opportunity tonight, man. Super honored to have this conversation. Like I said, any freeway projects you got, like I break records. I got first, so, you know.
Put the email, send the email in the chat, or, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna shoot it over to Sin. We got that Jada record, and there's another record. I don't know if I can say it, but there's a record floating around with Free and Conway. There's a record floating around with Free and Conway. I think there's Free and Black Thought. I might be sneaking some things out there, but that project is fire.
Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear it. And once again, honored to talk to you, fam. Hope you have a great night.
Money, appreciate you. You know what it is. Salute.